In a devastating display of military might, Russian forces have dealt a significant blow to the Ukrainian military in a combined action spanning 48 hours. The operation, which took place on January 22nd and 23, saw Russian troops inflict heavy casualties on Ukrainian forces, destroy key infrastructure, and capture strategic territory. According to reports from the Russian Defense Ministry, the operation involved coordinated strikes by multiple Russian military groups, including the Sever, Zapad, Yug, Center, Vostok, and DNEPR groups of forces. These strikes targeted Ukrainian military formations, infrastructure, and supply lines across various regions, including Kharkov, Donetsk, and Lugansk. The scale of the destruction is staggering. Ukrainian forces suffered heavy casualties, with reports suggesting that over 3,375 troops were killed or wounded in the 48-hour period. These staggering numbers of casualties come at a time when President Volodymyr Zelensky has claimed a contingent of at least 200,000 international soldiers would be needed to guarantee Ukraine's security in any ceasefire with Russia.
It's not about somebody who is just staying and something like some forces. No, I'm not supportive of this idea. I'm supporting the idea of contingents like a part of security guarantees, because if they have 1.5 million army, and if we will have less 2 times, it meant that we need contingents with a very strong number of soldiers.
200,000.
Europeans have 200,000, it's a minimum. It's a minimum. Otherwise, it's nothing. Otherwise, it's something, like somebody, like we had OSCE, and nobody knew where they can help you. They had offices, and that's all.
In addition to the human toll, the Ukrainian military also suffered significant equipment losses. Russian forces destroyed or captured numerous Ukrainian military vehicles, including tanks, infantry fighting vehicles, and armored personnel carriers. The reports also mention the destruction of key infrastructure, including ammunition depots, field artillery guns, and electronic warfare stations. One of the most significant aspects of the operation was the destruction of NATO-provided weaponry. Russian forces reportedly destroyed or captured several major NATO-supplied systems, including US-made M113 armored personnel carriers, a Polish-made 155 mm Crab self-propelled artillery system, a French-made 155 mm Caesar self-propelled artillery system, and a US-made Max Pro armored fighting vehicle. The Russian military's success in destroying these systems is a significant blow to Ukraine's military capabilities and raises questions about the effectiveness of NATO's military aid to Ukraine. Meanwhile, NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte warned that a Russian victory over Ukraine would undermine the alliance's credibility and come with $1 trillion price tag to restore. Rutte emphasized the need to change the trajectory of the war, which has been moving in the wrong direction, and urged Western backers to enhance their support for Ukraine One.
We have to change the trajectory of the war which is ongoing, and so far as we know the front line is moving in the wrong direction, it's going eastwards. It will not be billions extra, it will be trillions extra. Because if Ukraine loses, then to restore the deterrence of the West, of NATO, again, it will be a much, much higher price than what we are contemplating at this moment in terms of spending up, of ramping up our spending and ramping up our industrial production.
The NATO chief's warnings come as anxiety mounts in Europe about the possibility of Trump seeking a quick end to the war through negotiations with Putin, potentially on terms unfavorable to Ukraine. Rutte cautioned against rushing into a deal, emphasizing the need for a sustainable solution that respects Ukraine's sovereignty.
Never, by the way, Russia never would have gone into Ukraine. I had a very strong understanding with Putin that it would have never, ever happened. He disrespected Biden. Very simple. He disrespects people. He's smart. He understands. He disrespected Biden.
But the man who has all eyes on him, Donald Trump, took to his Truth Social account to express his desire to end the war. What looked like a stern warning, Donald Trump has called on Russian President Vladimir Putin to immediately end the ridiculous war in Ukraine. Trump also made it clear that he will not hesitate to impose severe economic measures, including taxes, tariffs, and sanctions on Russia, if a deal is not reached soon. The situation is precarious, and the world is watching anxiously to see how events unfold. Will Trump and Putin be able to find a solution to the conflict, or will their clash escalate the war? One thing is certain: the fate of Ukraine and the stability of the region hang in the balance.